Let's talk a little bit about what Mortis is going to do now that James Vandenberg is out of the picture. Mortis is going to try to join Raven's flock. He's going to get rebuffed, though. So he's going to start trying to make Raven's life a living hell. He's going to go through a litany of different disguises. And eventually, Mortis unmasks and reveals himself and rebrands himself as Chris Canyon. So I hated to see the demise of the Mortis character. I love the Mortis character. We're clearly going to move on and transition. I know that this is asking you a really deep cut all these years later, but is this something you remember Chris Kenyon being excited about? Shedding the mask and the persona and becoming himself, Chris Canyon. Obviously, that's not his government name, but when you're taking the mask off and you're no longer having a mouthpiece, and now you're you. Is this exciting or nerve wracking for a young Chris Canyon? Do you think?
I don't know. My guess would be, because I don't recall having a conversation with Chris about it. It just was one of those things that just kind of evolved. We're thinking about going in this direction. What do you think? Sure, let's try it. But there may have been a lot more to it than that. I just wasn't involved in it, or don't remember either way. If I had to guess, I'm feeling Chris was probably excited about it. I'm sure he embraced it because that's the way Chris was. Whether it was something that someone else asked him to do or he decided to do himself, he kind of approached things with the same intensity and commitment. But I'm thinking it's probably something that Chris was excited about, because your face is a weapon if you're a performer, if you're a good performer. Your face is one of the best tools in your toolbox if you're a good performer. I talked earlier about Chris's ability to sell. A lot of that has to do with your facial expressions and the way you sell to the camera and the emotion you're able to convey, whether you're on offense or you're on defense. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to take the mask off Ray back in the 90s, is because it allows the audience to connect to the character in a deeper way, even if it's subconsciously, because you could see the pain, you could see the joy, you could see the anger, you can feel it vicariously while you're watching at home or you're in the arena. And obviously, there's an argument for not taking a mask off. I think at that time, because money and merchandising for masks, for WCW at least, was not anything anybody was excited about. So I think, therefore, Chris probably liked it, but it's a guess.
Yeah, I mean, as a reminder, I mean, I think now when we look at this character and the career of Chris Canyon through the lens of 2025, we can all say, man, that Mortis character was super cool. But let's remind everybody that really the epitome of cool in, say, 97, 98 were guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. Two of the three of those guys are using their real, actual, like, driver's license names. And the other guy is just this, hillbilly redneck badass who's just drinking beer and kicking people's ass and driving a pickup truck. So reality, more so than fantasy, is what is perceived as being cool here in 97 and 98. But I am curious, when you think back to that time, I mean, we know what did or didn't happen now with the benefit of hindsight. But when we're transitioning away from the masked character and persona of Mortis, and we're going to go towards more like the real life Chris, and we're going to call him Chris Canyon, did you ever imagine at some point in the future that Chris Canyon may don the Mortis outfit again, much like we've seen the different split personalities of Finn Balor and the Demon, or the Undertaker, the American Badass versus the Dead Man? Is this something you thought, hey, he could go back to it in the future, much like we saw Cactus Jack sometimes come out of the Mankind character? Or was it more like, no, it's packed away, it's in the rearview mirror, and we're moving on?
I don't think it was either one. I don't think once we kind of, I'll use the term abandoned, but once we stepped in a different direction with Chris Canyon, There was never okay, that's it. It's dead. Put it up for sale. Put it in the vault. It wasn't that. Had there been an idea that was born out of this new character or storyline where it was like, hey, I got an idea. He's in this situation and he's down 3-1. He's way behind. He needs to make a comeback. He comes back as Mortise to confuse his opponent. Basic stupid storyline. Sure, tag it in. It works. So it wasn't one or the other. I wasn't sitting there going, I see what the Undertaker's doing. So someday we're going to be able to bring this back. Or in 6 months, here's what I want to do with this character. It wasn't that. That would be a lie. But I was willing to go back to something that worked if it fit a story.
Hey, Eric, I want to ask you, when it comes to the creativity of pairing a Raven with a Canyon, is that a Kevin Sullivan call? Would Raven have made that request? What did you think of the Canyon Raven pairing?
Here's how I bet that happened. I wasn't involved, but I'm almost certain. It was some combination of Canyon, Raven, Sullivan, having fun, bouncing ideas around a room, and coming up with it. I don't know if it was Raven that suggested it or Canyon or Kevin Sullivan saw it in his head. That I couldn't tell you. But I do know those three in particular, they thought along the same lines. Like Kevin Sullivan could relate to Raven. I couldn't. I didn't get his character. I mean, I liked Scott Levy as a person. I didn't have a personal problem with Scott Levy. But the character, the kind of grunge, Pearl Jam inspired, miserable, hates the world hates me kind of darkness, I didn't see the money in it. I mean, I saw the value in it because, again, grunge, which is what that whole thing was born out of, despite what anybody wants to admit, been around for a while. And I understood the brand identity that it had and the perceived value that part of pop culture could be. But for me, are they heels? Not really. Because they're kind of bitching about shit that actually should piss people off in a way. Are they baby faces? No. So they were unique in the sense that they were a really well-defined, strong brand, but creatively it was a little difficult to blow it up and create story and the balance of love and hate that any good story needs if it's going to survive. It was really hard.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105 or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.